Let's roll. Good day, everybody. This is BA Radiant Dawn, and we're back with refines. And this is the refine we've all been waiting for. It's the CYL plus a couple legendaries plus randomly Haar, because I guess Haar things. I'm not complaining. Haar's refine looks kind of sick. So, I got two awesome guests joining me today. And why don't you guys introduce yourselves, starting with Paulygon, because alphabetical.
Hi there, I am Paulygon2. I'm probably most well known for my current modding showcases, and if you are a veteran on my channel, probably remembering me from Weapons That Faye Forgot.
Ooh, okay. And Valentia.
Hi everybody, my name is Valentia. You'll probably only know me because I am the only furry in the Fire Emblem community. Real and true, totally not false. But otherwise I've done like a few things here and there. Currently on hiatus, but you know what, I'm here for these sort of things, and you know what? We're here to talk about refines, and also, Paul is my best bud, so yeah, he dragged me along. Real and true.
Wait a minute, you volunteered before Paul said anything, I think.
Hey, the viewers don't need to know that, it's fine.
Oh, you're making up Paul to be a villain. Oh, I see how it is.
I'll be whatever they need me to be, it's fine.
Okay, so, we're gonna go in order of legendaries, then CYL, and then Haar.
Haar.
Because Haar's like the least hype
Saving
one,
the best till last.
He's the obligatory CYL, or not CYL, the obligatory GHB, so it was par for the course. The only thing that was a little weird was that Summerlin wasn't here, but given everything we've gone, it's like, yeah.
She'll probably be in next round with, like, Nagi and, like, a whole bunch of it. I cannot wait for a Nagi refine. My god, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, there's still a couple from this book that I'm waiting for from book 3, and that's not even counting the Echoes banner. There's some ones I'm looking forward to.
Fair. So, on the screen here, we got Sothis' refine, and it is still Sublime Surge, of course. I don't think the initial effect changed at all, like at all. I think it's the exact same, so it's just
It has not changed.
Yeah, so the extra effect is at start of combat if her HP is greater than 25%, and because of Sirius it will be. Grants Spectrum plus 40 unit during combat and reduces damage from foe's first attack by 40%. Honestly, not bad. It's not fantastic.
It is mid.
It is
very mid, but it gets the job done.
Like, it's got the damage reduction, which is nice, but I was expecting more from a little mythic. Like,
the only thing. Oh, you first.
Okay. The only thing that I really think about it is just because it's the whole DC weapon moment sort of thing. Mm-hmm. But I think when you take into account just overall everything that she got with her remix, this is okay, because you have to think, why would they give her null counter disrupt? And everyone kind of figured she'd get some damage reduction in her weapon. And looky here, she just gets it just straight up. And the whole point of it is that she can take a hit with this, preferably from like any sort of like green unit. So even like Ninja Korin, I believe that'll be fine, because Brave hits, no matter what, will count into the first attack. And then just retaliate with Sirius Plus, no matter what sort of attack, and should hopefully kill. I think that's the intention with how they were structuring Sothis here. If it pans out, sure. If not, well, you at least have something a little bit more workable. I don't know. I feel like the Sothis fans here got a little but you know what? It's still something. Sirius Plus is pretty disgusting.
I mean, and if you look at... Yeah, well, actually, Sirius Plus is not like a huge improvement upon the original, other than the anti-guard. It's only like a 5% difference. So even
but it's still a pretty decent number, I think, because it's what? It's 35 in both numbers, I believe?
Yeah, it's 35 for each, but before it was like 30, so the extra 5 is like an extra point of damage and an extra point of HP returned.
Yeah.
So
but I mean, going for, like, 35 is still not too shabby, honestly. That's like 5 away from 40, and 40 can be pretty nuts, and then everything that's been recent, like 20 and 25, like... It's still a pretty damn nice number, all things considered.
True,
so
it's just based on when you compare it against the original, it didn't really add much besides the anti-guard, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's just like overall,
and it's guaranteed over a third too. Like you get a third of it knocked out, so it's like, hey.
Yeah. The only thing I will say is that you don't get much more in the way of more damage for her, because like you're taking out the first attack by 40%.
Mm-hmm.
But the only issue is that is she fast enough to be able to run null follow up and make use of having that first attack? And is she going to retaliate with enough damage to also heal after?
Well,
so
she got null C disrupt, not null follow up.
I think he's just saying in the case for the people that actually run around.
Yeah, you would have to run null follow up if you really, really wanted to get the most out of just having the first attack reduced by 40.
43 speed, 47 speed. 47 speeds. Yeah, that's not really great. But I also don't have man properly built, so let's see. If we chose attack speed ideal, so let's see, 43, 47, attack speed ideal, if activated is 56, attack speed menace is 68. If she can, like, cap out, like, if you chose to do blade session as well, that's an extra 9. That's 77 plus the B slot, whatever you wanted to do. But if you wanted to keep, like, the null follow-up, null C disrupt, 77 unmerged, unflowered is pretty decent. So, like, you have to capitalize on speed, though, but...
Her base kit does, or her kit in general, as you have it, seems to just imply that you should run her as an enemy phase unit. Of course you can go for a player phase system, but it's also a case of... It as I say, it's mid.
Yeah.
It doesn't allow you much.
Yeah, it's nice. It helps survivability, this refine, and helps do a little bit more damage, a little bit more speed, but it's not... Like I said, I was expecting more from Sothis just because, like, 3 houses hype, you know? But it's not bad.
Yeah, because, like, dragons are almost always locked into enemy phase, so I just sort of expected a little bit more to help her with that. Because she gets null C disrupt, which is great. It just allows her to just retaliate no matter what. But you're
sacrificing a lot of like different B skills that she could honestly rather run instead. Like just not even like just going at it, but just like even like Dragon's Wrath 4. Since
I was about to say Dragon's Wrath 4.
I know, exactly. It's like that could work too. Gives her a bit more damage reduction. And to be fair, people were already running her enemy phase as is with like dual stance sort of like, you know, like A slot stuff, like not like Castrol or anything like that. I just can't think of them in particular, but you get the point. People are already running those sort of skills on her anyway, and it goes to a certain amount of success anyway, especially because she negates any dragon effectiveness. But at the end of it, it still kind of messes around with her because, I mean, infantry dragon unit only really doing a lot of enemy phase stuff like that. Sure, now she'll have a little bit more consistency with, hey, she gets this much from Sirius Plus along with some damage reduction to help her survive to actually proc it, but any other extra toys, you're not really getting your bag's money here.
Yeah, you'd still have to invest pretty heavily into her in order to make her like top tier, so it's not great, but again, it's not bad.
But at least she has a DC weapon because that frees up her seal slot at least.
Yeah,
so she doesn't have to read the new one. Slot both really, which is supremely good. So she can, she can do some stuff, but it's let's move on to Julia.
One more stipulation though, and you got to think about this. She's also a unit that you can literally buy from the game right now because she's in the supporter pack. So
that is correct.
A little bit of copium. I don't think they want to give her too much.
Fair.
Yeah, poor Sothis fans.
So,
well, at least you got something though.
True. So moving on to Julia's refine. So I just want to say, so this is like I screenshotted all these from my account, which means I actually had a 5-star. I had to purchase with Grails a Haar, upgrade him to a 5-star, get him to level 20, teach him his new weapon, and then see what his refine is. So I did like all of these are straight up from my game itself. So this is my Julia. As you can see, she's plus 10. And the only reason that happened is because she was color sharing with Happy back when I was trying to plus 10 Happy. I got like a plus 8 Julia or 9 Julia, and I managed to pull the last copy the last time she was back. So yeah, this is I'm actually pretty happy that she got a refine here, and it's not too shabby. So
and congratulations on finally building up Haar, because you're now obligated to do that now.
I suppose, eh? So, effective against dragon foes, grants attack plus 3 at start of combat if unit's attack is greater than the foe's attack, or if foe's HP is greater than 75%. That's a new stipulation. Grants attack res plus 6 to unit during combat, and that was where the weapon cut off before, I'm pretty sure. And also, if unit's res is greater than the foe's res, reduces damage from attacks during combat and from area effect specials. During combat, equals difference between stats times 4, max 40%. So this is actually pretty solid, because I'm pretty sure, like I said before, her refine, like the original base weapon was just the first portion of it, minus the foe's HP 75% bit. I'm gonna double check to make sure I'm correct about that, but I'm pretty sure I am.
I don't think she had the damage reduction.
No, she didn't have damage reduction.
The Dragon Ball is new.
Yeah, that's new too. It's just like the first bit was the base weapon, but not even counting the foe's attack.
Yeah, it was just Dragon Slaying, attack plus 3, and attack reds plus 6 if her attack was higher.
Foes, yeah. So like the fact of the HP being 75% or higher on the foe is actually a really nice addition to that, because that makes it a little bit more workable.
A whole lot more consistent, yeah.
Well, yeah, because like she's got 64 attack at like plus fully merged, no flower, but fully merged 64. That's not great. You can pump it up super high though, but it's not.
And now you have a lot more units that are getting like a lot more beefed up in their attack. Like you have someone like Galzus with like plus attack neutral or like plus 0, and you give him like a little bit more like base attack, and then it's like you're already beating it out. So it's just like it's not too difficult. Yeah.
One thing that I'm gonna like currently for most stat checks in the game, the best person against those is Brave Crom. I formulated a Brave Crom team, and I'm gonna be saying this in a lot of videos until I pull it off and can show everyone. So, because I'm missing one unit for this team. But on this team, I can have Brave Crom get up to, with a speed boon, no merges, no flowers, he can hit over 100 speed and over 115 attack. He will win most stat checks. It is crazy, okay? So like, but that's with 4 allies. With only 3, it's like, with the asset, it's still 101 speed.
Which one are you missing then, if I can ask?
I am missing Astrid.
Ah, okay. You want mine?
If only trading was a thing.
I've got mine as well.
Actually, I might be able to play around with this a little bit. I might actually, because like I could do a brigade in Grand Conquest and use her and test this. So I might actually hit you up after this, because like I might be able to do a showcase without actually owning the unit, because I have every other piece. So anyway, so yeah, the damage reduction is super nice. And she's gonna have sky high res because she just got attack res menace, didn't she? Yes, she did. That's a 12 points res swing in her favor right there.
Yeah.
So that's
it helps her with her visible check as well.
I think the biggest part with the Dragon Ball stuff though is mostly just because the refine part isn't really going to help as much with it, because a lot of it's going to be like, or at least some of the stuff in particular is going to be the dragon stuff. But now she at least has a chance, asterisk that, but with a chance to survive against some physical units. Yeah. Mostly just down to the Dragon Ball, but at least it doesn't make her a complete, wet noodle.
Yeah, she's not tinfoil paper anymore. She could actually take a hit and fire back with if you give her extra stuff, which is awesome.
Yeah, and not forgetting her new B slot.
If units within 3 spaces
Light and Dark 2.
Sorry. So if units within 3 spaces of an ally grants Spectrum plus 4, of course. To unit during combat, guarantee follow-up attack, which is nice. If in combat against Dragon foe, can counterattack. So honestly, that's pretty solid. Just the fact that she could just counterattack against Dragon. I think that's... There was another version of her that got that, right? Am I misremembering?
That's right, base Julia.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a base Julia effect, which is actually pretty good on a Julia that's just outright better than base Julia, so... Hey,
I think the really good thing about it too is that now this actually kind of makes a little more sense since you have a lot more dragons that can kind of, you know, close the distance to really go in for initiations. Basically, you know, the cavalry dragons that we've got now. So
correct, yes.
Ymir. It's like there'll be ones to want to attack at that point, and especially against base Muspel. Not too sure about new Muspel yet. But now she should be able to tank him most likely because of just again the high res sort of thing, be able to counter the stat differentials anyways, and the weapon triangle things. So.
And the Omega Lull as well.
Yeah, because she's got lull and dark. Light and dark too. Inflicts spectrum -5 on foe. Neutralizes units' penalties and foes' bonuses. So she's got like, what was it? So that's basically kind of like a distant defense effect or close defense effect. The one penalty. I was gotta remember because I build my armor dragons a specific way where they get both the neutralizes units penalties and neutralizes foes bonuses because there's specific skills that do both. So this is basically everything in one.
The defense tier 4s neutralize your own, so the foes bonuses is something else, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's a B slot.
Yeah.
But still, like, that's pretty freaking crazy that that's added in as well. Like, Spectre +5, units penalties neutralized, foes bonuses neutralized, disables foes skills that are like disables adaptive damage. Like, that is so freaking good, honestly.
Yeah.
She is. Sorry, go ahead.
There you go. No, I was gonna say, it's like I remember like when she first came out, like people were like a little worried about her and that sort of thing. Especially like there were times where it was like maybe like she wouldn't die, like but then like eventually like not that long after things were just like, oh, you can just do this and it's like not too big a deal. And then Fallen Julia happened and made things a little weirder for her. But now I think she's definitely the more like definitive Julia here until Fallen Julia gets a refine whenever that happens. But
yeah,
I think this Julia just really knocks on the playing field for a lot of her bad matchups. And even if it still is like a bad matchup and she's probably slated to die, at least it's not going to be like before to where she couldn't completely do nothing, you know?
Yeah.
So she at least has more going for her.
Yeah, she's pretty solid now. I'm pretty happy that I have her at +10 already, because like this is actually really good refine and whatnot. This is a good remix for her. Honestly, she got treated a whole lot better than Sothis did by a long shot.
Yeah.
Like
FE4 winners, let's go! FE4 fans are winning, even if
finally,
they haven't gone to banner really.
Can we just admire the fact that a genealogy unit got better treatment than a 3 houses one? Can we just admire that for a second?
FE4 Dev, where you at?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Drop up the remake.
So, speaking of 3 houses units, next up...
Oh, yeah.
Here's Lysithea! So, Lysithea here had Dark Spikes T. And honestly, I have her and never used her, so who knows? Is this refine going to be good enough for me to use her?
I've already looked at this, and I can tell you it's in the top 3 of my favorite refines.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think this makes it so that she can actually be used, because when I saw this, that refine is... That makes her very useful as a one-off, in my opinion.
Okay, so Dark Spikes T, the first effect is the exact same. Like, everything in white there is the exact same, so we're going to move straight down to the yellow. Cooldown count -1. That's funny seeing it in the yellow. Honestly.
Yeah, it's happened for a few units, not too many, but a few of them have it.
I can name them on one hand.
I just think it's really freaking funny because like I don't. This is one of the few times I've seen it down there personally, and I'm like, it's so weird because pretty much every unit nowadays comes with that in the white, not in the yellow.
I mean,
like,
if you saw Paul's tweet after the new banner went out yesterday, you'll get exactly what we mean. And Paul, if you want to reiterate that tweet, because it was a banger with like 5 likes, but still.
Accelerate special trigger. Cooldown count -1.
And if anybody's surprised, I don't think so.
Literally, it's the newest banner is the 3rd banner in a row where every preferenced weapon is slaying.
That is so funny. At start of turn, grants the following status to unit for 1 turn and deals 1 damage to unit, which is actually really nice, because, like, her first weapon effect is she needs to deal damage to herself. Before, you had to use, like, Ardent Sacrifice strats, or, like, Winter Benedetta, or both. Now she just does it to herself, which is actually pretty nice. I like that. Unit can move to a space adjacent to any ally within 2 spaces. Okay, so she can, like, teleport a little bit.
She gets
Edelgard's effect.
Yep.
If unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, which she will be, grants another attack speed +6 to unit during combat and special cooldown charge +1 per unit's attack. So she's got like a blade effect in there, like the heavy blade, flashing blade effect.
Yep.
So overall, that's pretty freaking good, because she gets like attack speed +12. She now has the effect 100% of the time where she can initiate, and she gets a guaranteed follow-up before a foe can counterattack. So she's going to hit like a truck, and she's 100% going to do it twice before you can even get a chance to even do anything back. She can warp around her allies, which is absolutely nutty as well, and she has a blade effect.
Saying like real free houses.
Faster.
Yeah.
Like, she could run like Dragon... Was it Dragon Fang? Or Draconic Aura, the three cooldown one.
Draconic Aura.
Yeah, so she can, like, because of her weapon effect, like the refine, that's 2. So she hits once, boom, and then she procs it on the second hit and just.
I'd say Luna would be more effective for her, but
Luna? Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, at base, like I have her at neutral, just one off, and she has 54 base attack. So I mean, even with the +12 and all like the stats that you can get into there. Additionally, it's not too crazy, so you could probably go with something a little more consistent if you really wanted to, but it's just it just really depends on how much consistency you really care about, because I mean going high attack go for her is fun, but
I'm already seeing some wacky builds with her, because you know we were talking about like Dragon Fang. She can run Dragon Fang now and proc it almost every combat with Time's Pulse.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Dragon Fang, yeah. Like, Dragon Fang is a 50% and 4 cooldown, right?
Yeah.
So now
once you get 10 pulse in there, she'll be able to proc that, so...
And, like, let's see...
instantly.
What do I have at her attack stat? So, mine's an attack, boom, like a flaw, 51. So that's like, what, 55?
It's 54.
54, okay. So, 54, 66 attack with the weapon and the refine. Let's say...
That's about 37... Like, before any other buffs or anything like that, just her weapon, and that grants at least 37 extra damage.
My whole stipulation, though, is that I'm not concerned about the attack, because, I mean, attack can go pretty high and you can do a lot. It's more about thinking mostly just down to the speed threshold. Yeah, because, I mean, she has 42 base, that's not bad. And she gets, I mean, however much more from this, too. But it still comes down to making sure she can win that speed check, because even with low speed res 3, which honestly really helps it a lot here in that, it doesn't necessarily mean that she will be able to double most things. I mean, you can bring up the Brave Crom argument all you want to, and it's still going to be a thing, but, like, not even just Brave Crom here. It's, like, other units that might be very speedy. You can stack that. Will she be able to double some of those units? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm going to try to... So, 42 speed. So, with an asset, that should be, like, let's say 45. Her weapon brings it up to 57. Ideal would bring it up to 66. Menace would bring it up to 78. The low brings it up to 81. And 90 with Blade Session. She could hit pretty high. She could do it.
Yeah, I think you take off 3 there, because she's actually 39 base speed, but the weapon gives 3 speed too.
Oh, well, like yeah. I'm just counting the weapon, because like, why would you not have...
Well, yeah, either way, but yeah, like, you can probably do that. It's just, like, there's so many other units that are just trying to, like, speed sack at this point. Like, it feels so moot sometimes, but in order to make sure that she gets the fullest out of her weapon here, it's like, she can probably do it in some, but there are some that I'm a little concerned about, I guess. And honestly, it's not like she has anything else besides that, because she's otherwise just a wet noodle. One counterattack from an armor unit is just, bye-bye!
Yeah. So
but that's if it actually gets retaliated on, because I can see also people running things like Windsweep as well.
Hang on. speed preempt. If she can hit 90 speed, she can reliably use speed preempt. Or whatever
That is true. If she's getting attacked by range units, yes. And I think that will happen in some cases.
And because she's getting attacked by a range unit? Wait, if unit... Oh, unit initiates. Ah, damn, there goes that idea.
Well, think about this too, though. If she does have speed preempt, she's mostly getting attacked by ranged units, most likely cavalry. Look at the first ability in her weapon.
Exactly.
If it's cavalry, she'll probably take out most of them unless they're, like, maybe blue. So, like, any blue range caps. Hey, Reinhardt, you're still good here. Totally. Sure, right?
Yeah, he has color advantage. He should win, right?
Exactly. But no, like, something like Duo Ninja Core, and, like, that should be a walk in the park.
Yeah, so if you're not a tanky magic user, she will just basically, like, Lysithea will just one-shot you. Basically.
Yeah. Even like a bow cav or like a dagger cav, so even like Nina's, for example, those can go bye-bye.
So I was having this conversation in the Phaeology server earlier, because I was saying that the new Lyn is actually somewhat, like, at base kit, she's not all that good. She can't hit the speed check required. In my mind, in order to hit a speed check, in order to be able to double, follow up, blah, 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 you need to hit at least 80 speed nowadays. If you can't hit 80 speed, you're just screwed. You're doing nothing. And pre-Speed Smoke 4, Lyn's at like 65 or 67, dude. That's bad. That's not gonna keep her alive at all. Like, she needs
that's just like my dual nowadays, basically hitting like high 60s, I would imagine. So it's like I would still win that matchup then.
Yeah, so like my threshold is like, in order for you to moderately be able to meet speed checks, you have to be at least 80 speed. So Lysithea here potentially hitting 90 with maximum speed, like attack and speed investment, is actually really, really good. 90 is one of the highest speed stats I've seen from any unit, really. With like that kind of build, except for like Brave Cromwell. Brave Cromwell is the absolute speed demon right now, period. 98 is impossible to hit otherwise, and he can hit it. So, like, the threshold between, like, let's say 70 to 80 is like, okay, you could possibly get the speed checks on like slightly slower units, whatever. 80 to 90 is like, more than likely you're gonna hit that speed check. There's only a couple units you can't hit that speed check against. 90 plus is like, dude, you're just gonna eat through all speed checks. And if you have one yourself, you're just set.
Can we go back to year 1 where it was just 40? Maybe even 50, please?
Dude.
I'm gonna cry out here.
Year 1 was 35. What are you talking about?
It doesn't matter. The point is that the speed power creep in this game has gotten so obnoxious. I have literally just given up. I've just figured that, okay, speed stats just don't matter anymore. They are completely just nonsensical. Like, I'm just done.
Yeah. If I may interject about the whole speed check thing, all I will say is with Lysithea, the speed check only comes into play if her foe is running null follow-up.
True, because
she makes a guaranteed follow-up. That's all I will say. She, like, okay, the dodge part of things may be difficult if you are checking against that, but the guaranteed follow-up attack is kind of paramount in a lot of situations for her. She's wanting, like, she wants to face off against slower units which may be able to tank the normal hits because they can, like, block follow-ups. The guaranteed and being able to get that immediately is just going to allow her to win so many more matchups. Okay, she might not win against, like, more of the high-speed dodge units, but you'll find that all the others, she's just going to rinse through.
But my question is, who out of those, like, speedy units that are running null follow-up, how many of them are actually really, like, her matchups? Because most of the things that she'll probably just end up straight up killing are going to be units that have, I think, more speed than those units that would have null follow-up, in my opinion, at least.
My question is, like, she's basically turned herself into kind of Well, yeah, she's basically like another Brave Micaiah, where she's got a guaranteed follow-up, but you could also just stack speed as well. So it's like, you're going to double, or you're going to double, and nothing can stop you.
Yeah, that, and basically just juiced up Lewin, period.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. This is a really good, really solid refine.
Yeah.
Like I said, in my top 3.
Yeah, I think I like Julia's better overall, but that's probably because I have her highly merged, so now I'm finally seeing payoff.
How could you, Brett, disliking the video? No. But yeah, no, this is probably a top 3 for sure, depending on how we feel about some others.
Yeah, and I'll say, I don't think we're too far off getting a Tome exclusive special.
Yeah, like
inheritable.
I'm actually kind of disappointed with the past few, the past few Ascended. It's like, what the heck is Ishtar? She didn't give anything. Yes,
I was literally about to bring that up.
Like, that was a good opportunity to give us a Tome special, and they didn't do it. And then Celica came out, I'm like, oh, we have another chance, and they didn't do it again. But although I think Celica came with the infantry, like the null follow-up drive or whatever it is.
No,
Yeah, which is not bad. At least it's a new skill that they gave us. But like, still, you could have given us a freaking special. Like,
that just goes to think that like these Incendent mage units that they've been giving us are a little weird. First you have Ishtar, why is she here? Now Celica, why is she here? She's a lord. Like I don't know. I guess.
Yeah, I'm just looking at these and I'm seeing missed opportunities. That's my thing.
I've had my own thoughts about Celica coming from the SOV guy here. It's I'll take it, but I can't say I was happy. I was confused, honestly.
That is fair.
What am I not confused?
So, next up is probably one of the most look forward to ones out of this refine batch. It's Dimitri. So,
I'll just leave the recording now. Paul, he's gonna go on for like an hour about this, and I know that. So it was nice meeting you all.
So this is gonna be the Paulygon2 show from this point for the discussion of Brave Dimitri here, but. Let me.
I'll let you talk first. So.
Yeah. let me read off what the skill does. I'll do my quick little blurb, and then you could just go wild for a little bit. Okay, so looking at it, basically the white's exactly the same, so that doesn't matter at all. If unit is within 3 space of an ally, grants speed, defense, res +5 to unit during combat. The first thing I'm gonna say is where's the attack, bro?
It's later down in the refine. I think that's my opinion. Inflicts minus defense 5 on 5.
Well, yeah, but everyone else got attack plus spectrum +5. Why can't Dimitri? Come on.
I don't know. I guess they just didn't want to have the weird stipulation. They just figured, hey, this is where the math makes sense. Let's just do it.
I suppose. Deals damage equals 20% of unit's defense. Well, his defense is kind of sky high. Mine has a defense asset, and he's sitting at 45, so that's pretty freaking good.
Yeah, 40 base with the super boon.
Yeah, so 45, the defense +5, that's 50. That's pretty solid. And reduces damage from foes' attacks by 20% of unit's defense. Now, this is the important thing here. This is the big winner of this entire refine. Reduces damage from foes' attacks by 20% of his defense. That's not a percentage. Well, technically it is a percentage, but it's not a flat 40%. Isn't this a form of true damage reduction in a way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Which is freaking crazy. He gets true damage reduction, and this can go sky high. Because I just got finished saying he's at 50 already with just an asset and his refine effect.
That's just flat 10 right there, at minimum.
Yeah, that's just an extra 10. And then you could stack this sky high, dude. And
And you can't do anything about it. It's just, it's inevitable.
So I forgot what Blue Lion rule did again, because I haven't used this guy in a while, and oh my god.
Okay, so this is where I'm probably going to take over. Okay, so Blue Lion rule is defense-based dodge. So you get the 40% damage reduction based on defense, and also quick riposte as well if your defense is higher, if a foe initiates combat. I don't find myself using the quick riposte too much, but as you said, the defense reduction in refine is true, but is also based on in-combat defense as well. It's not visible defense.
Yep.
So this is an uncapped damage reduction. Yes, this is completely uncapped.
The higher you stockpile his defense stat, the worse this gets for your enemies. Because he's
trying to get through with that, brave Crumb. Ha!
Oh, Crumb will still be able to eat through it. I'm pretty sure.
No, maybe, but I mean,
like, and also increases his damage output as well, because he's basically become Asker.
But like
with DC.
Yeah.
And steady breath, but only on first attacks, on the foe's attacks.
So I'm just gonna do a quick little calc here. Don't mind me. So it's 50. Let's see.
He gets basically lull attack defense as well. But he doesn't get the -5 attack. But he gets the -5 defense, which also helps with his calculation with his defense-based dodge.
All of it helps with just all of his defense checks in general. I mean, the more the more defense he has, just the more it helps with taking and dealing damage, and the more he's just doing more onto them anyway. It is making the stipulation, like, even if you don't stack up the defense, you're basically trying to get down on your opponent's defense as well, to make sure that they can't even come close to him.
Yeah. And that 20% boost to damage as well, the defense-based attack, is on every attack that he makes as well. So, he is going to become possibly one of the best tanks in the game, just on that alone.
Very easily, too.
Like, people are already, like people have already lost their mind on Asker's tanking abilities, and now we've got Distinct Counter in the mix and half of Steady Breath. It's gonna be and you can imagine I'm going to be putting out a montage of
just him
all the shenanigans I'm gonna get up with, because the defense-based dodge and the true damage reduction, I've already run some calculations, and it's insane.
Okay, so I was able to pump him up to like 80 defense, like my copy, with the typical menace / ideal builds, and like that's 16 points of true damage and true damage reduction, and there's no way, not even Brave Crom can hit a higher defense than that. I've ran it. He can hit like 60. He can't hit 80. So like,
see, I told you he's defeatable.
This is one speed check Crom cannot win because it's defense based. Res ones may be shaky. Speed, yes, but like this is one of the few defense checks in the game, and this is just absolutely sky high. Like 16 damage. So imagine like you gotta double this guy. He's already got pretty beefy defense without even the refine. He's got like 45 defense without the refine, right? That's already pretty chunky. But now imagine he gets 80 defense and 16 true damage reduction too. Plus the damage reduction in his B slot that he's going to be getting. Like, dude, what will it take to kill this guy? Okay? That's what I want to know. I'm not even... I'd have to do the calcs on that.
You'll probably have to
you would have to really have a hefty lethality.
No, I think you would need to have a mage to even attempt to do it, because his res is still...
You would have to have a hefty lethality user with at least 70 attack.
Yeah. And you have to think, even if they have res, you have to think, they have no defense at all, so they're going to have to be able to shred through him by some
have to go for the one shot or they're
going to
die, basically.
Exactly.
God, he's such a monster.
And you have to survive a retaliation if you don't kill him in one hit.
Which, good luck with that, because, like, he's got damage reduction. Lethality cuts damage reduction. No, it doesn't cut damage reduction. It cuts defense by 75%, right?
Lethality is a boosted up Luna with damage reduction cancelling, but only percentage-based damage reduction, not true damage reduction.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
So basically, it'll count for, I think, Blue Ryan rule, but not the perfect self, right?
it does not take into account the preference weapon.
Okay,
effect.
so yeah, it cuts 75% of defense res, so we're not gonna count the blue lines rule, which is actually helpful to me to make the calcs easier. So remember, it's 16 true damage reduction. Okay, just you guys remember that number for me. So
16.
let's see. So we got 80 defense. That gets cut by 75% from lethality. So that's 60. So he has 20 defense remaining, plus the 16 from the true damage. So that's 36 defense he technically still has. My capped out Yuri has like 68 attack. That's still not too great. That's 32. He still cannot one-shot with the lethality, and he will die on impact from Moongradivis. Because that's only cutting defense, it's not cutting his attack. So like, not even Yuri can cut through this guy in one shot. It's not possible.
Yeah, you thought your effective 5 range dagger was gonna do something? No, sure.
It's like, go ahead, come at me, bro. Dimitri's just sitting there flexing.
I have this dude.
Invincible!
I have this dude at +10.
Yeah, like this is just calcing off my version. My version's not even fully built. He has no flowers. He has 1 merge.
He'll be able to do something now. At the very least, you'll find some use for him. And Dimitri, anybody with a +10, not even just you, Paul, but you know you're going to be eating pretty well. But then again, you have been prophesizing for this day just as I had been for Brave Alm. So congratulations, your day of reckoning has come. You are now free to rain havoc on the entire Fire Emblem Heroes player base.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say, I predicted everything on this refine.
Yeah, you did. He essentially did. Yes.
That is impressive.
Yeah, even down to cancelling buffs on the opponent.
Damn. Okay, so the Dimitri portion is done. Honestly, I think he's so far got the best refine. Hands down.
He is.
Like, I think it's very possible. Yeah, I think he is top 1 here.
Because like he is absolutely crazy.
But is anybody really surprised? Again, we all knew the trend was going to happen. Yeah. We all knew.
Okay, so next up we got, I was going to say Fallen Eddie. Good God, her refine's going to be scary. But right now it's Brave Eddie. So she's still, before the refine, she was like the only one that was really still like wildly used for Ether Raids for everything. So the fact that she's getting a refine is kind of nightmarish. I want to say that the white portion is the same as before. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Flower declare, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's the exact same. Okay, so in the yellow, we got if a unit is within 3 space of an ally, which because she could teleport, she will be, grants bonus to a unit's attack, defense, res during combat equals x times 2 plus 3. X equals, this is like a clash effect, basically.
Yeah,
it is.
X equals the number of spaces moved by whoever initiated combat max 3. So that's 3, 6, plus 9 to attack, defense, res. That's pretty solid. Yeah. Inflicts a further attack, defense, -6 on foe during combat. So it's attack, defense, -12 on foe, and plus 9 to herself. That is crazy stats going on. Restore 7 HP is like, whatever, it's nice, I guess. It's fine. And also, if that X is greater than or equal to 1, inflicts special cooldown charge -1, so it's guard effect.
She basically got a lot of what this new Lyn sort of got, except that her X is based off of Clash and not however many units are nearby, which I think still ends up working out because most people in players' hands are going to be able to get her up to 3. But generally, I think it's very safe to say you can get her to 2, and that would be perfectly fine. And that would be like 6 at the very least. And I mean, that's fine.
Well,
and you've got a lot of other stuff here to work with, and it's just a lot of extra goodies to make her do what she was already doing pretty well. Just even crazy, frankly. Yeah.
So one thing in terms of this is like it's actually super easy to get her the max for the number of spaces moved because she's teleporting. That's 1, 2, 3 spaces right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, in most regards, yes.
That's right.
So basically, she's always gonna have that. She's always gonna be at max unless you only teleport her 2, which I don't know why you would. there are instances where it's probably best to.
It's mostly just her walking to, not the warping at all, is what I was thinking. Which can happen, just not in every case.
Her warping's further than walking, so you're better off just warping.
Yeah.
Plus, she's typically used as a save unit, so, like, dude, she's fine.
That'll come into play with whoever ends up initiating on her, which, in most cases, the people that will try to reach that unit, but then get her as a savior. Again, that's usually going to come down to Cavs. Mm-hmm. And who has 3 movement? Not Cavaliers, it's Fury. And Alm. But, sure, Cavs are in there, too.
Yeah.
And flex like the attack defense minus 12 is a whole bunch of debuff, and then she gets plus 9, so it's basically like plus 21 essentially to her defense stat. And her defense stat's nothing to shake your head at either. It's 45 too.
And it's mostly coming down to I forget what her base slot is called, but it's mostly down to the whole damage reduction thing. People weren't sure what she would get otherwise to help stipulate that, and I guess, attack and defense minus 12 on the foe kind of helps with that, because, she can tank, 12 points more and then deal 12 more, so you know what, that's nothing to scoff at, frankly speaking. Yeah. And I think the guard is pretty important too, as well.
It is really good, is what I will say. She'll always basically get that guard effect if she's being a save unit. Yeah. All I can really say is that it's boosted her player phase potential. However, her player phase is still her downfall. Like, she gets her healing from her weapon, but her player phase is still where she will die. Yeah. It's just harder to kill her. You just end up having
if you're using her in auto battling, it's not going to go well. But if you're using her, if you're actually controlling her, she's infinitely better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because all she really gets besides guard is just free stats and maybe a bit of healing if she survives. It's like, it's not too crazy.
Yeah, it's nothing crazy. It's just nice.
Yeah, you know what you're getting.
Black Eagle rule is if her HP is greater than 25%, which it should be, because especially now with the healing, it's always going to be pretty much. If foe initiates combat, reduce damage from foe's follow-up attack by 80%, which is pretty solid. Follow-up attack means second strike for weapons that grant units attack time. It means a third or fourth strikes. So, like, the first attack is going to deal less damage already because the enemy is getting debuffed by 12, and they're getting guards, so they're not going to proc their special. So it's like in order for you to actually proc your special, you have to have it pre-charged, or you have to have heavy blade or flashing blade, which is pretty solid, actually. That makes her a lot harder to kill the guard effect right there, plus the attack minus 12 on the foe, plus the 9 defense and res to her, plus the secondary hit, you're not killing her. So if you can't kill her in the first hit, you are not killing her in the second, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's either you kill her with your special, or you just don't straight up, and you most likely will end up dying. So, because I doubt that the damage you would do after the special would be enough to kill her, unless you're just one of her.
Unless you're using lethality or Deadeye, but I doubt Deadeye would actually cut through.
I think it also would end up depending on if they also negate that guard effect or not, because a lot more units are coming with that nowadays. So there's always that stipulation.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, but like overall, she's not bad. She's not no Dimitri level refine though, but she's pretty good. Yeah. She's okay.
She got exactly what she needed to get it, basically. So
a little bit more survivability.
It improved both her phases.
Although she still gets wrecked by Duocrom.
Yeah. I will just say that she is likely to end up causing stalemates in summoner duels, but aside from that, it's improved her enemy phase and slightly improved her player phase as well.
Yeah. It didn't completely write off any of her weaknesses, but it made what she was already capable of doing just a little bit more consistent.
Yeah.
Especially for just this day and age.
With sustain as well, which...
Exactly.
With the sustain, I reckon she could just run no healing special and run things like bonfire, or which I'd say bonfire would probably be best to make her player phase the strongest it could probably be.
Yeah. Okay, so the last one of the CYL batch is Sir Claude. So Claude got
upside down. It's so funny.
Claude got some. Then I wouldn't be able to read it. Claude got some. Claude's like the only one of the lords, like the CYL 3 houses ones, except for like Lysithea, who actually got something he got more added in than even Lysithea did in the white portion, even, which is kind of funny to me.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So like he got shown some favoritism here a little bit. So the first bit's the same. If unit initiates combat within 2 spaces of an ally, grants spectrum +5 during combat, heals. So the main thing is reduces the effect of deep wounds by 60%. Unit's HP cannot be healed through its next action. So he still heals, just only 40% of what he would have been healing, if I'm understanding that correctly?
Something
that'd
along
be
those
right.
lines?
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, like if he healed 10 HP, deep wounds would say no HP, so instead he reduces that effect by 60, so he heals 4 HP. So he basically, no one can stop him from healing himself. He will heal.
He would get 6 HP actually, percentage-wise. You would get the 60% of the heal.
Oh no, it reduces
Because
the effect
it's no longer
it reduces the effect of deep wounds by 60.
by 60, so
That'd be 40 less.
basically, yeah, so deep wounds only affects 40% of the healing.
Oh, okay, I'm looking
So
at this backwards.
he gets
you're right.
large
Don't worry, I got
chunk.
the same bit too, yeah.
Yeah, maths. Ew.
The wording kind of messed me up a little bit, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
So
I
he
think the
gets
main-
the larger portion of the reduction.
Yeah. I think the main thing to really take away from this, though, is that I don't really recall seeing, like, anything, like, besides, like, damage reduction type stuff, because we've been seeing that a little bit more and more. I don't think I remember really seeing a skill that actually, there's, like, anything in the game that counters a certain status by a certain amount. Like, we've had stuff that might completely negate some stuff. This is just a straight up just reduction by a certain amount, which I find mostly just interesting that they went in this
Yeah,
direction.
like, honestly, this is really intriguing because this is also the first time we've seen, and I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've seen any unit in the game cut down, even cut down deep wounds in general.
Because I mean, deep wounds isn't really a big thing in general. Like, I'm trying to remember who really has this. Like, isn't it like just like a fatal smoke type thing, or am I just completely like
yeah, it's
misconstruing
like
that?
fatal
I just
smoke.
remember-
It's like duo lift. It's
Yeah,
I forget who else.
but it is.
Muspel gets it in his weapon.
Oh yes.
True.
Mhm.
Which means, does the new Muspel have
Legendary
it?
Sigurd.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You've got quite a few tough threats that do that, but
Yeah.
I
and that's
don't
just
know.
acting.
I don't know if it will affect the in combat part of the effect, because he doesn't get deep wounds during combat with
Yeah.
someone that has fatal smoke. So we'll see how that interaction happens.
Yeah.
As for
But yeah, the only thing similar to the reduction of an effect like that by a certain amount is in, as you said, duo leaf. So duo leaf, which one? But where they reduce damage reduction by a certain amount. Like you've got negation.
And
but...
someone on the new banner also just took that too.
Yeah. Someone on the new banner
So-
has that as well.
Yeah.
So let's see, check out the yellow bit, because this is interesting too. At start of combat, if unit HP is greater than 25%, which it will be because he heals himself, grants Spectrum +5, neutralizes effects that prevent units' follow-up attacks, and effects that inflict special cooldown charge -X. So he's got anti-guard, and like half of null follow-up, and also, if a bonus is active on him, reduces damage from foe's first attack by 30%. So he's got damage reduction, he gets anti-guard, he gets half in the follow-up, he gets a bunch of stats, and he gets deep wounds percentage cut, which is actually pretty solid kit. Like, he's getting a decent amount of stuff here, and it's all pretty good.
I feel like, in my opinion, and this is gonna be like maybe like a little bit of a weird take, but I feel like this is probably the most awkward refine that we have in here, and we haven't even gotten to Haar. I find it a little odd, mostly just down to not just the whole weird deep wounds reduction sort of thing, but the player null follow up is perfect. He needed that too, along with the null guard. That's perfect, but it's mostly just down to how he's getting some damage reduction, because that was the main thing that Claude really needed, was that he doesn't really have anything in his kit that really makes it so that he can actually survive hits and then heal that back up. Because most of the time, people are just going to one-shot him. So it's like, why doesn't he just get like flyer effectiveness, or at least like removed from him, or just get something a little more consistent? Because sure, you can just get like a bonus or like a status put on him very easily, but you don't have anything to really give it to him himself unless you're running a very like particular skill. That's just what I feel awkward. You have to give him something to where he can get a bonus himself, and that I think is going to be the weird part. I don't know. I feel really, I guess, a little icky about it, mostly just because it's just like, I feel like he could have used like a little bit more to make things a lot more consistent. This just feels a little, and even it's just 30% too.
With my take on it is that he's got a bit of everything he needed, but not everything.
Yes.
He's very much had like multiple hands in multiple jars. You know, just had a bit of everything, but not quite taken the whole lot.
And he didn't want to take from the Fallen Star cookie jar, which I'm like, why? Because he loves that one.
Yeah, honestly, if he got like something akin to like Fallen Star, that would have been like
they probably should have just given him Fallen Star.
I think they could have given like a little bit of it, or at least like something akin to it, but like you could have given him the numbers for Fallen Star.
Yeah, it's like a reference or something.
I know, work out here. Yeah, like honestly, if like, and maybe, I don't know how I feel about this, but I mean, if they really just wanted to make the effect 75% damage reduction on foe's first hit, rather than 30, I mean, that I think I would be more fine with. I feel like 30 is just so little. Exactly my point, and that's like the one that he would really need that sort of thing against. Like as a flyer, you want to make sure that you cover all your bases, and sure, you'll get like plus 10 throughout your whole weapon besides your own stats, but that's not going to save you from stuff you're effective against. You're going to die, so it's like, why not just have the 75 instead of like 30, you know?
Yeah, like the 30%'s
I think that'd be perfectly balanced.
Yeah, 30%'s not going to help him a whole hell of a lot. And plus, like, that's just going to get eaten through by Deadeye, because he's a flyer, like...
Yeah, it's like...
It's not going to do much for him at all.
He's getting only so much, but that's like why I feel like this is awkward. It's not exactly giving him all the tools that he needs in order to do things.
Here's my thing when it comes to this. I could imagine if a melee unit got all these things, that would be so much better.
Yeah.
Because, like, what do people most use in Summoner's Duels for Sigurd? Like, I don't know if they use Fatal Smoke, per se. I know I'm an oddball. I don't use Fatal Smoke. I use something different that's a little bit more funnier to me. But, like, when you think about all these units that run deep wounds, having that on a frontline tank, the cut damage reduction, like the cut from the deep wounds, cut from deep wounds, like that would be phenomenal on a frontline unit. The anti-guard, phenomenal on a frontline unit. Damage from foe's first attack, that's nice on anyone, but that's especially good on a frontline unit. He's not a frontline unit though.
It comes down to him just being this really weird unit that's trying to do really, like, it's cool stuff, but on a ranged flyer, that's a little weird.
It's
and
like these are nice things to have, but how often are they actually going to be used? When he just dies in one shot, like, how is this helping him much? It's nice. Yeah. It's a lot of stuff, but it's not a lot of stuff he can actually make use of. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's like everyone else can use this sort of stuff better, like a melee unit that has more stats. But on a ranged flyer, you can only really do so much. And it's like you would already have to sacrifice like your A slot to be able to do some stuff. Like if you want to like close reversal or something like that. That's like, but it's like it's just he's trying to do so much, but he's still not able to do what he would want to be able to do to make this more superfluous. Sure, he got some stuff, but that's what I'm saying. It's so awkward that it still doesn't really solve the fundamental problem at hand, and that's why I feel a little confused about this.
If I may, it's like, I think my take from it is, it feels like the refine was made sort of like the refine came about, they thought that he has a B slot to like pick up that slack. If he had the B slot or a preference skill as well, that would be alleviated.
Like, could you imagine
what
this
you're
with
saying is
bow and
that we
arrow?
thereof.
should-
Like this,
But the lack thereof of the skill
yeah.
makes that refine seem so awkward.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do is that we're going to go to in-game support and we're going to go to feedback or whatever. We're going to go and complain to IS to please give Brave Claude Fallen Star.
Well, what I think the
Yeah.
better thing would be like, so IS, you want us to use this unit? Can you show us how you expect us to use this unit, please?
Please.
Like, can you actually do a demonstration of how this all works? Because we need something, because like this is a really weird interaction. We don't know how it's gonna operate. So like, if you could just show us, that'd be great. You show us new units. What about showing us refines on how they operate? That'd be really cool, because this is a really
that would actually be cool, because I do actually enjoy seeing those videos when they come up from Matt, whenever they put them up for like CYL stuff and like even like the Fallen stuff. If they did like a little bit more of that sort of thing, I think that would be kind of cool, honestly, because I think that would mostly just come down to me just getting an itch of seeing, you know, the game devs talking to us and really communicating their intentions to us, because I think that does a lot more like that speaks a lot more volumes than a lot of things, because everyone would want communication from the devs, and that's the way you can get it. It's weird, but it's like, I don't know, that's just my weird itch of the day. But that's just
like we realistically speaking, they don't talk to us at all. We're just giving stuff. Every once in a while, they're like, "Oh, sorry, this we screwed up on the skill description, or we screwed up on this and that, so we'll make it up to you." That's all we get, really. That's all we get.
Yeah. But when we get those like videos from, again, like Matt from Treehouse, he probably gets like a more like accurate like translation type thing. Like they don't have to do the work themselves, because everyone's heard the stories of the translation teams over here getting completely screwed over. But they get their intentions right with what they're trying to explain over here. Yeah. Most likely from the devs.
So, moving on to the last one of the batch, we got Haar, who's kind of interesting, actually.
Yeah, this one actually kind of threw me off for a loop, mostly just because of one thing here, but, I mean...
Yeah, question, the one thing you're mentioning, is it in the base weapon or the refine weapon?
It is in the base weapon. I think everyone knows which part.
This is really weird. This is the first time in the game we've seen something like this. So his base weapon says, neutralizes effective against flying. That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, he would love that.
Bows do nothing to this man, because he's got the defense to back it up. But blue tomes are effective against unit.
They really want to get the thunder effectiveness in from Tellius. I'm pretty sure that's what this is, right?
That would make sense. That would make sense.
Yeah, because I mean, you could probably speak on that one, Brett, because I think you're playing through it right now, right?
Well, Path of Radiance actually does not operate off of that. That's strictly Radiant Dawn, which is interesting. Is Haar Radiant? Is this Haar Radiant Dawn?
I believe. Yeah, I think this one is Radiant Dawn. Yeah.
I think so.
Let me see.
Yeah, which I still find very interesting, because
it is Radiant Dawn.
Think about this too, because I mean, well, blue tomes, I mean, it's not just thunder. You've also got like light in there as well, and that sort of thing. But it's mostly just down to units that are not initially effective to him against the weapon triangle still have an effectiveness. Like, huh? I don't know. I just find that logic being a little funny.
Specifically blue tomes.
Yeah, no, it's really just that. Yeah,
specifically blue tomes too. That is so. Yeah, in Path of Radiance, flyers operated differently, and the fact that this is Radiant Dawn Haar, this makes a little bit more sense, because if it was Path of Radiant Haar, I'd be like, that's just wrong. Like, IS, you're just dumb. But, so, in Path of Radiance, bows and wind magic are effective against Wyvern Riders. Meanwhile, in Radiant Dawn, it's just straight up thunder magic. That is it. They'll take extra damage from thunder. So that's what this is 100% what this is referencing. It's just such a weird thing. We don't see on the Beast Lagoons, they're weak to fire magic. They don't see what are weak to red tones.
Funny.
So it's just really weird and awkward that they slapped this on Haar. I guess they did it because they gave him Brave and they had to find a way to nerf him, I guess. I don't know.
I don't even think it's really just that. I think they just wanted to give him some really like kind of weird stuff, and honestly, I don't hate it, mostly just because it's like you have like this little weird niche stuff that kind of gives a little bit more life to these units. You get a little bit more idea from like where they're from, because I mean, again, you wouldn't understand why he would be effective or get effectiveness against units that wouldn't make any sense in this game until you go and look back at Radiant Dawn, which, let's be honest, who exactly here owns a copy of Radiant Dawn? Probably not too many people.
I do.
I mean, besides Brett, yes. So
I have a
comment
copy
in
of
the description if you have
game.
Radiant Dawn for the Wii. But you get the point, though. It's these little bits of personality that really like shine on these units, even if it makes no real sense because of gameplay stuff, because it nerfs him in some degree. But it's like, you know what? Why not? Literally, why not?
Another one that comes to mind on that sort of thing is Oliver.
Yeah. Oh god. Oh yeah.
Oliver effective
Hilarious
Haar.
niche he has.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's check the refine now, or like inflict speed -5, unit attacks twice. So he's got a brave effect.
Yeah.
Whoop de doo.
Don't face brave. Yeah. Luckily.
Yeah.
Everyone knew that.
That's nice. That's nice. The blue tone thing's funny. So his refine, if unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack defense +5, and reduces damage from foes' attacks by 15% of unit's defense, and inflicts.
Is that also damage reduction, like true damage reduction, like Dimitri?
That is true damage reduction.
That is true damage reduction.
Wow. Oh my god.
And inflicts guard on foe per attack, right? That's what I'm reading.
Yep.
Inflicts guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Which is funny because he does get guard in his base kit.
No, yeah, he does. They just knew it's like, yeah, he's not gonna be running guard in his B. It's just like
It's
we
like-
kind of just have it there because why not at the time?
They basically were
now it's
like,
like, yeah,
yeah,
all these
he
funnier
has
like
his
B
B.
skills you can run.
He
It's
has
like,
it in his
yeah.
B slot, but let's be real, he needs that for other stuff. So let's just like give
Exactly.
basically an unconditional guard on him just for fun. But the reduces damage foes attacks by 15% of unit's defense is actually stellar because, like you said, that's like
Yeah.
true damage reduction again.
Yeah.
A lot of
Which is
people
like,
like
neat.
always like try
Yeah.
to stack his defense anyway. Like if I literally look on the subreddit right now, because I saw a post there recently of someone who was posting pre-update Haar. If I can find that really quick, I think
Is that the speed stacking one?
Yeah, partial speed second with the Paulygon axe. Yeah, it got to about like
He's my friend.
Oh yeah. So yeah, hello to you/Solid Fouls. You have 39 base defense on your Haar with like a couple of other things, like there's like defense smoke in there, Wyvern Flight. That's really all you've got there for defense. Was like Paulygon axe, but that doesn't matter. But the point is, you can get him at max investment pretty high up with his defense. So if you want to be generous and just say that he can probably get like flat 50 defense, 15% of that, I mean, that speaks pretty well in terms of volume with what he can kind of do. And I mean, the 5 minus speed isn't too bad. I mean, if you wanted to speed second, which I think some people will still do, since I mean, well, again, some people did that, and I mean, it's fine. Like, it's not super crazy. It'll help with some battles, I would imagine, some matchups, but it's not like it's gonna completely destroy him having, oh no, he lost 5 speed. No, it's fine. Like, you're good. And with the damage reduction, it's just, especially just being flat out, I think that's really nice, honestly.
So I was
Like,
just
he'll be able
checking.
to cover a lot of stuff.
So I was just checking something because I'm actually curious if it's possible. I'm gonna need to see if the skills that I need are actually in the game or not. Give me 1 quick second here.
Alright, are you literally going to just make up a skill right on the spot and be like, I need this for a Haar if I want to
No,
make
I'm
this
seeing
skill,
what
you know
all's
I mean?
actually alive.
Are you thinking about flow skills?
No. Okay, so one of the 2 skills I need for this to work is actually in existence. Okay, who has it? Oh, it's Sane. That's interesting. So my thought was, now hear me out. You guys said speed stacking. I love my speed stacking, right?
It is fun.
Now, what? Could you imagine his weapon, like the true damage? And what if we just added more true damage on top of that? Like true damage reduction on top of that? Using Maria's B slot?
Oh yeah, flow flight.
Yeah.
Flow flight, yeah. So, but you need the speed check of if unit speed is greater than or equal to foe
Minus
speed
10.
minus 10. So that basically adds
is
9
quite generous.
extra speed leeway, right? So, deals damage during combat equals 70% of difference between defense stats. So we need to capitalize on speed and defense. Speed defense catch is on Sane, who's going to be coming up in either next round or the round after's legendary banner. Legendary/mythic, more than likely.
Wait, that's the thing as well. Speed defense hold is literally about to come out. That could
True.
do something in some degree.
But I'd rather
However-
hold out for Speed Defense Menace, which does not
True,
exist yet.
yeah.
Speed Defense
Yeah.
Menace does not actually exist, and when it does, Haar's gonna be loving that
Yes,
skill.
it does. Summon Dimitri.
What?
Dimitri expert.
Not Speed Defense.
Dimitri expert.
Is it actually?
Death Menace.
That's weird, because it didn't even come up in the... when I try to search for the skill. Oh yeah, it
Sometimes
does!
it's just be something, yeah.
Everything
Yep.
is there in place, so I'd have to sack a Dimitri.
I
And I
mean,
have
Paul
one.
won't take offense to it, honestly.
I already I have one, so I already have the one copy I need, so I could... on the
I'm not hearing it.
So
He's not
he should
hearing
be
that.
returning on a double special heroes banner, not next round probably, but the round after that. So if I actually did this, I'd have to see what Haar's speed is, then calculate with the refine. Give me
Yeah.
1 second here.
If I go back to that one post I was looking at, this isn't kind of like the whole like Tempest Claw sort of thing with the -5,
Oh,
but they were
God.
reaching 42 innately. And this is with +10 summoner support Dragon Flowers.
Haar's speed is trash, dude. 25.
But the point is, you can speed stack it, and it's still going to be workable to some degree.
I know, that's what I'm trying to calc at the moment. So 25, but with his refine, it's 20. So let's see, let's check base 20, and then the catch is 29, and then the menace is 12. That's 41 speed. You need a seal as well. Let's say attack speed solo. That's 40. That puts him up to 48. And the speed check from Flow Flight is basically gives him an extra 9 to work with. Actually, hang on. What
Yeah.
he did instead of the solo?
Do be aware. Do
42.
be aware. The speed check from Flow Flight is before combat.
Before combat.
Yeah.
That actually makes it easier then.
Yeah.
Because with the menace, that at least adds another. That at least puts him up to 32. Not many units have 41. Not a lot of units have 41 speed.
Yeah.
I
The
have
main
to-
stipulation is that for it to really work out, you have to really go at the menace target. Maybe if you somehow spread defense debuffs otherwise for him to attack more. If you really wanted to, it could work, but you really got to get that menace target if you really want to make it work.
What you could do, which would kind of hamper his defenses a bit, but what is his defense basic at 30? So he's at 36. If you sacked that to add in a little bit of life and death, putting him up to 25, 37, that would actually work. Because if the speed check is prior to combat, with life and death, he would be at, plus the menaces, that's at 13. No, that's an 8. What is that? 12. That's 17 point speed swing on top of his base of 20. So that's 37 speed. About 40 if you give him a boon, or like 39 or 40. And he's got like the condition. You could actually do it. You could actually do this and make it work, and it'd be funny as hell. You can do it, and I think I'm going to.
I think the
Okay.
other thing I want to bring up too, and it's not going towards this sort of build, but I need to look it up quickly just to remember exactly the thresholds here, or what it is exactly, because I'm looking at Stillwater 4, but when it comes out for the defense particularly. Yeah, okay, so it does actually take away. So actually, no, you could technically do that then, since it'll take away from the res and not the speed.
Yeah.
So
that
if
would
you
be-
wanted to
that'd
bump
be
up
better.
attack and defense, that's a thing. That could technically work then, actually. Because I was going into this thinking that it nerfs some speed as well, because I completely forgot what Stillwater exactly did for its debuff. But no, this actually can work for the speed build, but even in general, like, I think some people would probably try out this Stillwater, but defense instead of res whenever
Yeah.
that comes out on whoever it comes out on.
When it comes out, that's going to be really, really good for him. But until then, I think the speed defense catch plus the...
Yeah.
Oh no, the speed defense catch isn't even necessary because he's got Brave Effect, really. But
Yeah, like ultimately he just has a dual phase brave, so it's like you're not really doing it for that, but the speed shenanigans are going to be there, so it's like, hey, why not? Honestly, like if you can get this Manta quad based on some just funny tomfoolery, I mean, you know what? More power to you. I'll just throw my my Ishtar at you.
I think what actually would be ideal for that kind of for the build I'm thinking of would actually be attack, defense, catch, and then speed, defense, menace. Because the menace gives a visible buff, which helps with the speed check. Life and death seal adds more attack, plus the attack, defense, catch. The defense catch is the defensive bit is the difference between the stats. So theoretically, that would actually be the ideal build for that.
Yeah, like menace is a pretty big swing, all things considered. Basically,
I mean,
just being like a 12 difference. Yeah, like menace is just ridiculous, honestly. Mostly just like it doesn't get talked about because it's not crazy. It does a lot to help a lot of units. Simply put, it's just like it works.
I mean, like for an arguably attack, speed, menace is the best menace because it actually technically gives you a +5 in every single stat, and then like it's actually +10 in attack and speed, basically.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's just speed +10. Because attack speed, so attack speed menace, or whatever, like it's 6, not 5, but whatever. Yeah. So attack speed menace, because it's debuffing your foe's attack, that's actually adding to your defense and res, technically, because you're taking less damage now. And the speed aspect, and then because it's, attack, speed, so you're getting attack stat, so it's basically 5 to everything and then 10 to speed. Or whatever it is, the stats. I think it's 6. So 12. 6 and 12. But that's why, like, I think attack speed menace is just outright the best menace. Is because it's actually hitting every single... You're getting every single stat, technically. Meanwhile, for any other menace, you're doubling down on 2 stats, and then you're missing 1.
Yeah, like the whole point of really running like those other stats that aren't like using like attack, like again like the speed, defense, speed res, or defense res, it's probably usually if you have a reason to up those stats more than attack in the first place. Which some units do have that, some don't, but it's like it really just depends on your preference. Honestly, it's just like, hey, why not? It's whatever. Like
I gave legendary Corrin speed res menace and gave her dragon wall, so it helps with her doubling potential and it helps with the dragon wall potential as well.
Yeah.
So it helps with her survivability, getting those 2 stats specifically, because before she would
just helps with discrepancies, period.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anytime you're doing a specific stat check, that's what menaces love. They love helping you with stat checks. It's great.
Or even just making the just jumping the gap. If there's like a really big discrepancy, it helps it just a little more. So, But yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed our build theory in terms of the new Haar. Like, comment, subscribe. This is what you get out of the refine instead of actually talking about it, because it's pretty, it's pretty self-explanatory. You know what you're going to get out of it, and it's like, you know what? Hey, why not? But here's the one thing. Remember, everybody, if you're having problems with this new Haar and you somehow don't know what to do about it, just throw a blue tome at them.
That is so funny. I love it. So yeah,
use counter Reinhardt meta again.
Yeah, Ryan. Oh my god, my happy has another target. Hell yeah.
Nice bring Delphia too. We're eating good tonight, Brett. I know that much.
Yep. My happy can one-shot like flying axe units now. It's great. Anyway. Yep. So thank you everyone for sticking around. It's been like an hour and almost an hour and 18 minutes here video. Now it's an hour and 18. So if you enjoyed this video of our discussion on the CYL units, on all these refines, on crazy Haar builds, on whatever other...
Brave Dimitri.
Dimitri hype. You know, we're always here to chat with you guys. I enjoy doing these. And thank you, Valentia and Paulygon, for joining me for this. I absolutely enjoyed having you guys stick around for it.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
And their channel links are in the description below, so if you haven't checked them out already, you probably should. I'm just saying. Sounds like
subscribe to me. I can't make my own content.
It sounds like we're gonna get some crazy Dimitri highlights soon, so you guys might want to tune into that if you're a Dimitri fan. Just saying.
And if you love Metal Gear Rising, wink, wink.
That too. Anyway, so thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed. Who are you most excited about, refine-wise? Who are you least excited about? Actually, quick, Valentia, top 3 refines from this batch. Go.
Top 3 refines. It's going to be Edelgard, Lysithea, Dimitri. I'm going 3, 2, 1.
Okay, Paulygon.
Lysithea, Edelgard, Dimitri.
Honestly, for me, I would say Dimitri's definitely number 1. I would put Julia at number 2, and then Edelgard at number 3.
Actually, none of our rankings matter because number 1 is going to be hashtag Haarsweep.
Yeah, once I build this Haar, that's gonna be my number 1. Anyway.
Blue Tome songs are going up to the moon.
Oh god, you know what's a scary thought? The next double special hero banner is gonna have Maria.
Oh yeah.
Let's freaking go!
Yeah. Let's do it.
I'm gonna have to pull 2 of her. Because I have a funny Summoners Duels team for her. Anyway, yeah, so, like I said, comment down below. What are you guys' top 3 favorite refines from this batch? Let me know. We're curious what you're gonna say for it. And if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, this is Be Weird or Not, signing off. Bye. See you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.